All right, we here, man. We here. Welcome to this show, man. I got a show today that is near and dear to me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody growing up near Atlanta in the metro Atlanta area. Uh a lot of the initial rap music that I was introduced to, the majority of it was Atlanta rappers. When I was younger, I grew up in South Carolina. I listened to rappers from everywhere. But when I moved to Metro Atlanta in my preteen years, around 12, 13 years old, I started and I had been back and forth before. Even the times earlier in my life when I visited, it was the music was just different. You know what I'm saying? So moving there and being actually a part of the culture, it was a mind altering experience. You know what I'm saying? I remember my god sisters, the family that we moved with, put me onto the music, put me onto Pastor Troy, Baby D, Camp, Young Bloods. You know what I'm saying? My cousins was actually big fans of Outkast. My cousin in South Carolina, and I didn't really understand why that music was so good until I moved to Metro Atlanta. All right. So this is a this is a pretty good topic for me. I'm not gonna be here too long, but we gotta break down this list, man. The 50 best Atlanta rappers of all time. Now I want to say this. I know y'all see in the title, they missed a couple, in my opinion. And this list is not horrible. All right. This is not a terrible list. This list probably won't even go viral. Um, because it's actually pretty good. It's better than I thought. When I seen it pop up on my timeline, I was expecting something not so good. Not so good. You feel me? But as I got into the list, once I clicked on it and I started looking at the list, going through um going through the names on the list, not only going through the names but going through the order, I was pleasantly surprised. It's not a whole lot of it's not a whole lot of mistakes here. All right, it's not a whole lot of mistakes here, man. Some of the some of the orders are not correct. I think it's a situation where um it's a situation to where most of the people, this is what I'm trying to say, most of the people that's on the list deserve to be on the list. It's a few, in my opinion, that don't, and we're gonna get into that. But for the most part, most of the people who on the list do deserve to be on the list. The order is a little bit off. The order's a little bit off. But let's go ahead and jump to this list, man. I know y'all see from the from the title, Jody Breeze is not on this list, which, in my opinion, the reason that I and Rocko, neither of them are on this list. Jody Breeze not on this list. Rocko not on this list. Now, before you say Jody Breeze is not from Atlanta, it's a few people that's not from Atlanta that's on this list. Okay, Jeezy's really not from Atlanta. He's on the list. Pastor Troy is not from Atlanta. He's on the list. All right, so I feel if you can put Jeezy and Pastor Troy on the list, you should be able to put Jody Breeze on the list. And it's not even about coming from Atlanta. And we here. Let's just get into it, because there's some people on here who I think don't deserve to be on here. The first person that we're going to counter, I don't think they deserve to be on here. All right, I'm gonna keep it real. Number 50 does not deserve to be on this list. All right, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X does not deserve to be on this list, man. He don't deserve to be on this list. I get it. Old Town Road was you know, Look, why he belong on this list. Look at what Complex put. Undeniable commercial success as an Atlanta pop rap artist. That's all? Undeniable commercial success? That's not enough. All right. And whenever we're talking about lists, if we talk about people should who should be on the list, we got to talk about the people who don't deserve to be on the list. I'm not putting Lil Nas X on this list if Rocko and Jody Breeze is not on the list. I'm sorry. He didn't really have impact. Is he a rapper? I don't know. I mean, he has some catchy songs, but the feel and the style of Atlanta, man, I understand, the gay stuff, and I get it. People associate Atlanta with homosexuality, which that's cool, but the people the people who are here do that are people who don't live down there. You know what I'm saying? It's gay people everywhere. It's gay people everywhere. So this is not a good representation of the rappers from Atlanta and the rappers in Atlanta. The music in Atlanta does not sound like the music that he makes. It's just, I don't know. I feel like because of what he sold, that's why he's on this list. So this is the first person who, if you want to talk about the two guys who I feel like need to be on the list, when you talk about adding people, you got to take some people out. This is definitely one of the people that I would take out. No offense against Lil Nas X. His music isn't terrible. He makes pop music. I'm not a huge fan of his music. And I'm not saying his music is terrible, but to be on this Atlanta rap 50 best rappers of all time, there's no way you could put him on this list and Jody Breeze and Rocko not be on this list, man. All right, Pee Wee Longway. He needs to be lower on this list. By lower, I mean closer to number one. He's in my top 12 artists of all time. Complex, important songs: Fiji Water, Sloppy Toppy with Travis Scott and Migos, and Loaded with Young Thug. Sneaking and Geeking. What about that? What about Sneaking and Geeking? What about I Just Want the Money? All right, Pee Wee Longway is one of the top. I would go as far to put this dude in the top 20. Now I know that's probably a stretch to some people, and I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with that, but I have a top 10 all-time list, y'all. And maybe my bias is showing, but when you talk about lyricism, when you talk about just the quality of whole projects, and I get it, a lot of them was mixtapes. He don't got the type of commercial success that people on this list, garner. They want you to have a whole lot of commercial success. I get that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against that, but when you just talk about skill, I can't think of 19 Atlanta rappers that have more skill than him as far as rapping. You know what I'm saying? I have a top 12 rap artists of all time. Pee Wee Longway is number 11. So, it might be some bias there. And I admit that, but to say that he's 49, I mean, you got JID on the list, you got Childish Gambino on this list. There's no way that you could tell me JID and Childish Gambino are more influential in Atlanta as rappers than Pee Wee Longway. And we're going to get to those two. Those are two other people who I feel probably shouldn't be on the list. Young Nudie is another one that we're going to talk about this on this list that I feel like probably shouldn't be on this list. Now, I only named 2 people who deserve to be on there, but I named like 4 people. So of those 4 people that I named, y'all can pick 2, but he's way too he's too far away from number one on this list for me. Pee Wee Longway, legendary rapper, man. Not a whole lot that he hasn't done. I mean, he's done the street stuff, and his rapping is top tier. When you really listen to him rap, it's like is he the type of rapper where if you cut his music on right, you gonna be like, man, he not talking about nothing. He a mumble rapper, but you gonna have to really slow it down. Every word that he says means something. He's talking fast and he's got an accent, but every word that he says means something. Everything that he says makes sense, but he make it sound like he a mumble rapper. I don't know, man. I can't explain it, man. He in my top 12 of all time, man. Pee Wee Longway definitely should have been higher on this list, all right? Another guy who lyrically, he's probably in the top 10 on this list. He don't got the commercial success. You know what I'm saying? He spent a lot of his career writing for Kanye West. Saha the Prince, he's in my top 15 of all time, rappers of all time. I listen to him on a consistent basis. This year he done dropped 2 on the radar freestyle. No, 1 on the radar freestyle, the other one live from the block or whatever it's called. Crazy. Saha the Prince for about 10 years has said punchlines that I've never heard before. The type of punchlines he say I ain't never heard them before. Again, for Childish Gambino to be on this list above him, JID, and these guys are newer guys. It's not about their music. Their music is good. Everybody on this list makes pretty good music. But Childish Gambino, JID, Young Nudie, there's no way I put them above somebody like this, man. Number 1 album on 200 chart, writing credits on various hits, including Sicko Mode, Father Stretch My Hands, Part 1. He got the Soul Paul with Kanye, Jay-Z, Pusha T, Swizz Beatz, RZA, That Side, No Dope on Sundays. Legendary records right there that he was a part of, man. He wrote Sicko Mode. Crazy, bro. Crazy pen. And you see somebody like this is the only reason that he's number 48 is because of the commercial success. All right. But The Life of Mr. EGOT is his new album, and it's coming this year. It's coming in 2024. All right. Trouble. Another guy who I feel I'm not gonna say he don't deserve to be on the list, but I don't know how he's on here, but Rocko is not. I don't know how he's on here, but Jody Breeze is not. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that he don't deserve to be on the list, but he's somebody who, he passed away, unfortunately, due to gun violence before he could really take off, but he was on the verge. He was on the verge of taking off. And, he got big songs. He got big records. His important songs, Bussin', Ain't My Fault featuring Boozy Badass, Bring It Back featuring Drake and Mike Will made it. I like his song, That's a Brick. And he got another song, man. Y'all, I done forgot. What is it called? She a Winner. I like that song too. I play those songs still. Oh, Key to the Streets. I forgot about that one too. You know what? I'm tripping. He do deserve Thief in the Night with Young Thug. Nah, he deserved to be. He deserved to be on here. He deserved to be on here. I kind of had to remind myself. He got some bangers. His most important songs on this list. These aren't my favorite ones, but Key to the Streets, She a Winner. Them was my joints, man. Those are Thief in the Night. Those are going to be a heavy rotation for a long time for me, man. RIP to him, man. He was killed in June of 2022. So he was definitely gonna be worthy of being on this list for sure, man. Definitely, man. So RIP to him at number 47. 46, Rich the Kid. This is kind of one that I was on the fence about. Number one Billboard, one Billboard number one hit, 7 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, 2 top 5 albums on the Billboard charts, Plug Walk, New Freezer with Kendrick Lamar, and Carnival with Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign and Playboy Cardi. He also had an early song with Playboy Cardi and Kodak Black. Rich the Kid, you know what? He do deserve to be on this list. He do deserve to be on this list. He got an album with Lil Wayne. Not my favorite, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. He's one of the people who introduced the dab with the Migos. You know what I'm saying? He is a skateboarding rapper. He's actually good at skateboarding. His videotapes of him skateboarding. He also got a song called Bayou Diamonds that's pretty hard, man. That's a hard ass song. That's one of his older hits. I agree with this. I agree with him being on this list. K Camp, another one I'm kind of on the fence about. I feel like, the rappers that I put in the title, and you can add Jose Guapo. I feel like some of these do. If K Camp is here, why is Jose Guapo not on this list? I feel like if K Camp is here, Jose Guapo should be like they're the same type of level, but he got some hits sprinkled throughout the 2010s, 3 songs on Billboard Hot 100 charts, 3 albums on the Billboard 200. So that's big. And I'm not saying he don't need to be on it, but there are other, I'm going to put it to you this way. It's other artists with his same qualifications that aren't on it. You know what I'm saying? Money Baby, Cut Her Off. So he got some hits, man. K Camp, definitely an ATL hip hop legend, man, at number 45. All right. 44, Lil Scrappy. I thought he was gonna be higher on this list. This is low to me for Lil Scrappy, man. 6 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, 2 albums with top 25 debuts on the Billboard 200. Never Ever with Trillville, Money in the Bank with Young Buck and No Problem. Lil Scrappy was definitely a problem during his run, man. In 2003, 2004, 2005, even 2006, that's all you heard on the radio. That's all you heard on the radio, man. Lil Scrappy was everywhere. He had the singles, he had the video, he had the style, and he's still relevant. You know what I'm saying? Due to reality TV or whatever the case, you could say what you want. He's definitely still relevant, man. Definitely a hip hop legendary. B.O.B. at 43. This was another one that I wasn't too sure about, but as I do my research, man, some of these guys, I just had to be reminded about the impact that they had. 1 number 1 single and 4 top 10 hits on the Billboard 100 chart with 20 total entries. 1 album that debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200 chart with 5 total entries. So he deserved to be on this list, man. He got a song called One that I like a lot. I like that Headband song featuring 2 Chainz. Nothing on You with Bruno Mars is cool. Airplanes with Haley Williams is cool. And those are cool songs, but some of his B-side stuff is way better, man. Some of his B-side stuff is way better. I remember I had got a car, and years and years ago, I got a B.O.B. mixtape. The front was black and green. I don't remember what it was called, but he had a song called One on there. He had a bunch of bangers on there, man. So he definitely deserved to be on this list, man. And he got some big songs too, but his I feel like his best songs are like B-side joints. You know what I'm saying? Number 42, OJ the Juice Man. Again, another personal bias. One of my favorite rappers. I think he should be higher. A lot of people feel like he take breaks and he rap when he want to. That's cool, whatever. But um, when you talk about the style of Atlanta, when you talk about the influence of trap, I think he right there with Gucci. The only difference is Gucci just made more music. Gucci just produced more music. The style, the ad libs, the flow, the unorthodox rhyming patterns and rhyming schemes. This is one of the dudes that started it. Whether you like his music or not, this is one of the guys who started the whole trap genre. And I believe he should be high on this list. I believe he should be in the top 30. But you know what I'm saying? OJ the Juice Man, Make the Trap Say A featuring Gucci Man, No Hook, Hate You with Mariah Carey, Big Boy, and Gucci Man. Salute White Boy Edits. What's up with you, man? Um, OJ was really that guy, bro. OJ was that guy. We all remember that legendary DVD of him rapping where he looked possessed with Gucci and Flocka, and that was just a lit moment. That was just a lit time. And I think that he was one of the pioneers, man. When people talk about trap music, they don't talk about OJ enough, man. Again, maybe a personal bias because this is one of my favorite artists, but a lot of the trap that we seen later in later years, um, it was due to him. You know, like he was right there with Gucci, man. He was right there. They ad lib, they tone of voice was different, but the subject matter was the same. The unorthodox flow was the same. He had an even more unorthodox flow than Gucci. Shout out to White Boy Edits, man. What up with you, man? I see you in the chat, homie. Salute to you, man. I subscribed to you yesterday, by the way. But the mixtape game, he had the mixtape game on lock. He had Gangsta Grills on lock. He was going in, man. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he top 30, bro. But we're gonna keep it moving, man. Roscoe Dash, one of the great young pop voices to come from the city, had every ATL kid rocking the fro hawk. All right, look, I don't know if that's enough to put somebody on the list. All right, I don't know if that's enough to put somebody on the list. Um, his hairstyle, I don't know. One appearance on a Diamond selling single, 6 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, 1 album on Billboard 200 chart. Listen, man, one appearance on Diamond, or excuse me, 6 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, 1 album on Billboard 200 chart. Look, that no hands with Waka, I get it. I don't know what White Boy Edits was doing. That nigga was spamming the chat. Anybody who spammed the chat, you getting blocked. But no hands with Waka Flocka and Wale. That's not enough for him to be on this list. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough for him to be on this list, man. And I understand he had a couple of big songs, but going to important songs, no hands with Waka Flocka all the way turned up. Yo, if you go to important songs and it's only 2 songs, come on now. Come on now. So Travis Porter deserves to be on this list then. And he's high. There's no way he should be above Pee Wee Longway. I get it. One of his songs was Diamond. That's cool. I understand that. But that's not enough to be this high. And why they belong on this list, his hairstyle? Come on now. Come on now. Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay was fire. No Hands was fire. That's cool. All the way turned up, cool. But only 2 songs. Is it because it went diamond? Is that why he on this list? Maybe. Maybe. Sean Paul from the Young Bloods. one top 5 Billboard single and album as part of Youngblood's one platinum single alongside Lil Jon and E40. Shake 'Em Off, Damn, feature Lil Jon. Snap Your Fingers with Lil Jon and E40. Listen, man, salute to Sean Paul, salute the Youngbloods. I don't think he should be higher than OJ the Juice Man. I don't think he should be higher than Pee Wee Longway. Legendary group. Youngbloods is a legendary group. That album that they dropped with those incredible singles on it, with Damn, was crazy. Lil Wayne had the legendary freestyle to what's that song? The Scott Storch song. I forgot what it's called, but they had influence. You know what I'm saying? You should be my girl. Okay, snap your finger. Yeah, you know what, man? I'm kind of on the fence with this one too. I'm on the fence with this one too, man. Is both of Youngbloods legends? Yes. Are they songs classics? Yes, but is this 40 is a little high for me. 40 is a little high for me. Cool Breeze. This is a guy that's a legend. And I hear a lot about him. I'm not a huge fan of his music, but I do know he was the first rapper to say Dirty South on a song. That's a big deal. One song on the Billboard Hot 11 chart, one album on Billboard 200. A lot of people may not know who he is. I've heard his name a lot. I know he ran with Goody Mob and the Dungeon Family. Watch for the Hook is a song that I'm familiar with. I don't know it word for word, but I definitely heard it before. I've heard it on the radio. And like I said, man, he was the first person to use the term Dirty South on a song. So Cool Breeze is definitely a legend in Atlanta, man, for sure. Young Nudie. This is somebody else who I feel like is just too young to be on this list, man. And by young, I don't necessarily mean age. I'm more of mean like when he first came into the game. He came into the game when? 2019? 2018, 2019, no later than 2017, I'm sure. He came around the same time as 21 Savage. For him to be ranked 38, to me, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Now, to say that he shouldn't be on the list at all, I don't know, but the people that he's ahead of have definitely had more of an impact than him. I feel like Complex is with things like this, they're just trying to show that they're hip. They're just trying to show that they're in the know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Like I don't know if he deserves to be number 38. I'll put it that way. I'm not super familiar with his music. I know Hell Shell. I know that song, and I know that because of Instagram. I know that because of social media. Hell Shell is hard though. I mean, I ride around listening to it. It's a hard song, but that's literally the only Young Nudie song that I listen to. No other Young Nudie is in my playlist. Rich Homie Quan. He should be higher on this list. No doubt about it. He should be closer to 1 because we're going to pass some guys that he had more influence than. Now, we know his run wasn't super long, but at this point in time, he can revive some of the steam that he lost. He can revive some of the steam that he lost. He can still drop songs. He's the type of artist who he's so like. Look, I'm gonna put it to you this way: it's some people on this list, their sound is no longer relevant. That's why where they're at on the list, they could never climb higher because their sound is no longer relevant. That's not the case with Rich Homie Quan. That's not the case with PB Longway. And I'm going to keep making a case for PB Longway to be higher. But Rich Homie Quan is in the same boat. He still has the sound, and his sound can still adapt to the now. All right. Type Away, Lifestyle, Flex. 7 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, 1 album on Billboard 200. An immaculate run in the mid 2010s with the flow and style that was sneaky and influential, extremely influential. All right. The influence of his style, people don't talk about it. This dude was very influential, man. This dude was very influential. Way more influential than people give him credit for. Y'all got to remember, he was right there with Thug. And Thug kind of sounds like Wayne and Future at times. Rich Homie Quan got that same style, but I've never confused Rich Homie Quan with Future. I've never confused Rich Homie Quan with Wayne. I've confused on that. It's a song that Wayne and Young Thug got together. I think they only have like 1 or 2 songs that they ever done together. But when you listen to the song, I couldn't tell which was Wayne and which was Young Thug because they sound, well, Young Thug sounds that much like Wayne. Rich Homie Quan don't sound like nobody like that. So very influential guy, man. He need to be higher on this list. Fabo, legendary rapper right there. You can't argue that. Geeked Up, Laffy Taffy, I'm the Man. 1 #1 hit on Billboard Hot 100 chart and 1 album on Billboard 200. I'm pretty sure Laffy Taffy went #1. Multi-platinum. Bet You Can't Do It Like Me. What? Can't argue Fabo, man. Diamond, another one. You can't really argue this. Where'd Diamond go? You can't really argue this, man. She's done a lot. 2 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, 2 albums on the Billboard 200 chart with Crime Mob. The whole Crime Mob movement was crazy. And she was one of the ones who elevated as a solo artist out of Crime Mob. Salute to the whole Crime Mob, man. If this was a group list, they would definitely be on this group list and at the top. Nuck If You Buck was crazy. Iconic song, iconic video, iconic look. Everything about Diamond and Crime Mob is iconic and legendary when it comes to Atlanta, man. So you can't really argue her being on the list. Bankroll Fresh, another 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 R&B charts. Hot Boy, Walked In with Travis Porter and Bucci, all there with Young Jeezy. That whole mixtape, Life of a Hot Boy, is legendary. Every song on there, you can play it in the club. People gonna know the words. Bankroll Fresh is a guy who commercially you wouldn't think he's as big as he is, but if you look at his numbers, they're not gonna wow you. His album sold outside of that Life of a Hot Boy. They're not gonna wow you, but everybody know his song. All his B-sides ride. All of his songs, it's not singles, just go hard, man. Life of a Hot Boy is a legendary mixtape. If somebody argued about him being higher on the list, I couldn't argue that. All right. Couldn't argue that. Unfortunately, in 2016, he was killed in a shootout at Street Exec Studios in Northwest Atlanta. All right. He was 28 years old, man. That's super unfortunate, man. RIP to Bankroll Fresh. Childish Gambino. He's one of the most talented and versatile multi-hyper-nights from Atlanta. I don't know why. Let me not say I don't know why he's on this list. I don't think he should be on this list. I don't think he should be on this list. Important songs, 3005, This Is America, Sweatpants with Problem. I don't think he should be on this list. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like he should be on this list. I don't think his music isn't bad. He got some big records. He got good songs, but I just feel like there are other slots for other Atlanta artists who deserve to be here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many people in Atlanta listen to Child Gambino on a consistent basis. And maybe it's just me. Maybe just because I don't, that don't mean other people don't either. Big Gil, obviously legendary. One solo album on Billboard 200, 5 songs on Billboard Hot 100, and 5 albums on Billboard 200 chart with Goody Mob. Member of Goody Mob. The style, legendary flow, legendary voice. No arguing him being on this list. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, 1 top 10 hit on Billboard 100 chart as a solo artist, 9 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 as part of TLC. Waterfalls, Not Tonight with Lil Kim, Missy Elliott, Da Brat, and Angie Martinez. You know what's up with Donnell Jones. She was raised in Philadelphia, so musical ingenuity started in Atlanta. So if you put her on this list, you got to put Jody Breeze on the list. And I know Jody Breeze is from Griffin, but she's from Philadelphia and she's on the list. But I can't really argue her being on the list, man. Huge hits. Her debut album, or they scrapped her debut album, Supernova, and she died in a car accident less than a year afterwards. Some of those records were probably going to come out. And her verses on the TLC albums was off the chain. They was off the chain, man. So she deserves to be on this list. Pastor Troy, another one of my personal favorites. He should probably be higher on the list, but probably not enough commercial success. 9 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. No More Playing GA, Vice Versa. Are We Cutting? Featuring Timberland, Miss Jade, and CJ. Pastor Troy has one of my favorite songs ever. It's a song called I'm Made. One of the best songs to just get you hyped. I'm Made by Pastor Troy. I listen to that song probably once a week. Great song. I rock with Pastor Troy, man. Salute to him. Can't argue him being on the list. Probably would make him higher, but I get why he's not. Young Dro, self-explanatory why he on the list. 1 top 10 hit on the Billboard 100 chart, 4 total entries. 1 top 5 album on Billboard 200 chart with 2 total entries. Shoulder Lean with T.I., FDB, Ain't I with Young LA and T.I. He's continued to make hits, man. He's continued to make hits for a long time. Even after he started to kind of fizzle down. Rubber Band Banks, do they have that in here? Do they talk about Rubber Band Banks? I don't know. Great song. Best Thing Smoking is an Atlanta classic. Top tier MC, man. Top tier MC. Can't really say nothing about him being on the list. If you want to argue that he's higher, that's cool. Probably can't argue that he should be lower. I put him kind of in between Pee Wee Longway and Sci-Hi the Prince. When you talk about the flow, when you talk about the wordplay, when you talk about the lyrics, Young Dro is a top tier lyricist, man. Soulja Boy, I get why he's on the list. Not too much that you can say about him. Number one hit and 10 total entries on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, 1 top 5 album, and 3 total entries on Billboard 200 chart. Crank That, Kiss Me Through the Phone, Pretty Boy Swag. He's still relevant through social media. Obviously, the internet. He was one of the first rappers to really utilize the internet as a distributor. You know what I'm saying? Distributing his own things through the internet. He's an innovator. He was a pioneer for a lot of stuff. One of the first rappers to get rich off ringtones. So salute to Soulja Boy, man. JID, another guy who 7 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, including 1 top 5 hit, 3 albums on Billboard 200. Surround Sound featuring 21 Savage and Baby Tate, 151 Rum, Cody Blue 31. I'm not gonna say he don't deserve to be on this list. That's kind of where I was headed at first, but I just don't know enough about his music to know if he really deserves a place on the list. Um, so yeah, man, I don't have a lot to say about him. I don't know a lot about his music. I know he signed to J. Cole, I believe. I think he signed to J. Cole. Yep, he with Dreamville. So that's cool. But I really only know surround sound from TikTok and Instagram. That's really the only place I know his music from. So I don't know a lot about him. MC Shy D, one of the first early hip hop stars in Atlanta. Got to Be Tough. I'm familiar with that song. He had one album appear on the Billboard 200 charts. He a Miami-based um influenced Atlanta rapper. MC Shy D, who was born in the Bronx and moved to the A as a kid, emerged as a pioneer and bring the sound to the city. In turn, he shaped the nonsense stages of Atlanta hip hop. All right. So I've heard his name a lot, and I have heard that song Gotta Be Tough. It do sound like some Miami stuff. But anybody like this, y'all, just like the dude Cool Breeze, just like Big Gip, we may not know who they are, but I remember hearing them on the radio for years. I remember hearing these people on the radio when I was a little kid. So if they was on the radio from then until now, if they get played in clubs from then until now, whether you're a fan of their music or not, whether you know who they are or not, they deserve to be on this list. All right. For you to have a song be on the radio 25, 30 years, that means something. I probably should have done more research on this guy, but when I seen and I looked at this list before, I looked at this list a little bit last night, but when I seen Got to Be Tough, I knew that this dude deserved to be on the list because I've been hearing that song for years. Years and years. Lotto. Can't argue her being on this list, man. 8 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, including one number one hit, two albums on the Billboard 200 chart. Big Energy, Put It on the Floor with Cardi B and Bitch from the South. Y'all, Lotto's new album is crazy. I was never really a huge fan of her. I liked her flow and I liked her beats a lot. Her flow is her new album. I think it's Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I think that's what it's called, or something to that nature. It's off the chain. She has a lot of good songs on there. She got a song called H&M that's hard. Just it's just hard. She got the song called Shout Out to Myself. Her album is the best female album that I've heard in a long time. In a long time. Since Nicki Minaj's last album, which really wasn't that long ago, but her album is better than Meg's albums. Or Cardi B has only dropped one album. But if it's any females that I'm missing, y'all get in the comments and let me know. Not Atlanta females, but if there are any female artists that I need to be put onto, I know Twink is good. Again, I really only listen to Nicki Minaj on a consistent basis. But when I heard Lotto's album, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. The music sounds good. I know Rhapsody is good. A lot of people talk about her. A lot of people talk about Flo Milli. I've tried to listen to Flo Milli. It's not, I can't really get into it, but she's a good artist. She made good music. What's the other girl? Money Long. She's more of an R&B singer, but she rap a little bit too. But y'all give me the name of some good female MCs, man. But Lotto album is crazy. If she was higher on this list, if she was closer to one, I couldn't even be mad. Maybe before I heard her album, I probably would have had some pushback, but she got one of the best albums of the year. She got one of the best albums of the year, man. I can't even lie. When I heard the album, I was impressed. I was damn near shocked. I was damn near shocked, man. And I know was it Ebro or one of them said that song "Shout Out to Me" was very Jay-Z-esque. I was like, boy, get the fuck out of here. It actually is though. It's now obviously she's not. We're not comparing her to Jay-Z. We're not saying that her skills are as good as Jay-Z. That's not what he was saying. But the way that the scheme of the song, the setup of the song, what she's talking about, and I even think that's a Jay-Z sample. So shout out to Lotto, man. Her album is a classic album. That is a classic rap album. That's a fact. Lil Yachty, another person I don't agree with being on here. One Night, Poland, Broccoli with Drum, 22 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, including 2 top 10 hits, 10 projects on Billboard 200 chart, including 3 in the top 10. I get it. The commercial success is there, but I don't feel like he should be in the top 25. I'm not going to say he shouldn't be on this list. Maybe that was jumping the gun, but again, I'm going to bring it back. OJ the Juice Man, Pee Wee Longway, Big Gip, Saha the Prince. He's not he's not in that realm, in my opinion. Does he make good music? Yeah, his music is okay, but this is just way too fucking high for me. This is way too high for me for him, or should I say low? He is way too close to number one for me at 24. Waka Flocka at 23. That's fair. That's fair. Shawty Low at 22. Legend. RIP to Shawty Low, man. Legend. That's fair as well. Kilo Ali, he's a legend. I heard his songs as a child. Another guy who I heard on the radio constantly all the time as a child when I first moved to Atlanta. When I was old enough in my early 20s going to the club, I heard him in the club again, those same songs. Now I'm in my mid to late 30s. I still hear them and I see them on lit. People like this, it is what it is. Whether you know who they are or not, whether you like their music or not, he deserved to be on this list. He's an Atlanta legend, Kilo Ali. I remember my god sisters telling me a lot about him, putting me on it, some of his music. It was good stuff, man. Legendary. And he's been around 20, 30 years, man. Gunna, 86 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, including 4 top 10 hits, 7 albums on Billboard 200 chart, including 2 number ones. Can't argue that, man. And he just getting started. Takeoff, RIP to Takeoff, man. Rest in peace to the legend. All 3 Migos is on this list. Migos is the greatest rap group of all time. You know, that's my honest, truth to God opinion. We know what he's done. Lil Jon, 18. Can't argue that. Jermaine Dupri, 17. As far as his rap, I don't know, but his production and his business savvy is definitely why he's on the list. CeeLo Green, can't argue that, man. He's done a lot. That chain is big as hell. That's crazy. Can't argue his spot on the list, man. Can't do it. Quavo, 15. That's cool. That's cool. 1 number 1 single and 4 top 10 singles as part of the Migos. 2 number 1 albums as a part of the Migos. 34 songs on Billboard Hot 100, including 1 number 1 hit as a solo artist. 3 top 20 albums on Billboard 200 charts as a solo artist. Versace t-shirt as part of Migos, and congratulations with Post Malone. I'd be here all day naming the Migos hits. We don't got to do that. He could be higher. If he was in the top 10, I wouldn't even be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at him being top 10. Not a whole lot you could say about Chinatown, Versace remix with Drake, Bad and Bougie. They was on Slide. Travis Scott pick up the phone. Hey, man, Quavo and the Migos have done a lot in a short period of time, man. They've done a lot in a short period of time. Killer Mike, legend. He could be lower. I have no complaints about him and where he is on the list. Offset at 13. One number one single and 4 top 10 singles as a part of the Migos. 2 number one albums as a part of the Migos. 29 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 as a solo artist, including 2 top 10 hits. 3 top 5 albums on Billboard 200 charts as solo artist. All right. Migos, Takeoff, Offset, Quavo, all on the list. They're from Gwinnett County, Georgia, the same place that I grew up. I heard about their music. I knew about their music very early. As soon as I heard it, I knew there would be commercial success. It wasn't hard to tell. Playboy Cardi, him being 12 is kind of crazy to me. I get it. The cult following. 20 songs on Billboard 100 chart, including 4 top 10s, 1 number one, 3 albums on the Billboard 200 chart, including 2 top 10s and 1 number one. And I'm pretty sure the next album that he drops will be number one. But important songs, you got Magnolia, Stop Breathing, and Fiend with Travis Scott. Fiend is not his song. And he kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I would put him this high. I really can't argue him being on the list, even if, you know, and I like, it's a lot of his Red, that whole lot of Red album. I listen to that album. I listen to multiple songs on the album. It's a great album. But the length of time that he goes without releasing music, the genres that he kind of weaves in and out of, I don't know if he should be 12. I don't know if he should be 12. 21 Savage, and this is too high, but people love this dude, man. 103 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, including 2 number one hits, 7 albums on the Billboard 200 chart, including 6 top 10s, 4 number one albums, No Heart, A Lot featuring J. Cole and Rich Flex with Drake. Anytime you got 4 number ones, you're going to be on a list like this. The commercial success can't be denied. So salute to 21 Savage, man. I've never really got into his music like that. I like some of his singles, but I can't listen to a whole 21 Savage album. But people love his music. He's a talented dude, man. So salute to him. Lil Baby, he could probably be higher. 141 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 Billboard chart, including 13 top 10s, 7 albums on Billboard 200 chart, including 6 top 10s, and 3 number ones. 3 number ones, man. Crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. He could be higher. He could be higher. 2 Chainz, number 9. Now, this is kind of where the list starts to make the most sense. 40 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, 10 albums on Billboard 200, 5 top 10s, 1 number one. Big Boy at 8, 20 million records sold as part of Outkast, 2 Dope Boys in a Cadillac, West Savannah, The Way You Move, legendary, man. Ludacris, another legendary artist, 56 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. 11 albums on the Billboard 200, 8 top 10s, 4 number one albums. Young Thug, I'll probably put him in the top 5. Danny Glover, Da Vinci with Birdman, Lifestyle, Best Friends with that. He got so many hits, man. Hercules, he got a lot of B-side hits too that people don't talk about. Excuse me. I would put him in the top 5. Possibly even top 3, because y'all know who number 1 is. A guy that I'm really not that big a fan of. Jeezy, self-explanatory. Trap or Die with Bun B, Put On with Kanye West, Seen It All with Jay-Z, Air Forces. 25 songs on Billboard Hot 100, 3 top 10s, and 1 number one. 14 albums on Billboard 200, including 11 top 10s and 3 number ones. Commercial success is a lot, man. Y'all know who the next 3 guys are. Gucci, T.i., Future. All right. And let's look at Future's Oh, let's look at T.I. stats real quick before I wrap this up. 57 songs on Billboard Hot 100, including 11 top 10s, 4 number one, 10 albums on Billboard 200 chart, including 9 top 10s, 3 number ones collectively. His albums have sold more than 10 million copies, man. All right, that's a lot. King is a classic. Trap music is a classic. Important songs, What You Know, Rubber Band Man, whatever you like. ATL, that movie is a classic. Paper Trail, Crazy. T.I. has a lot of great albums. Even the ones that aren't classics are still very good. King LP entered Billboard 200 chart at number one after selling over 500,000 copies in the first week. King is one of my favorite albums of all time. No doubt about it. I didn't want this to be an hour, but it had to be. Number 2 is Future. I didn't talk about Gucci a lot. It's not too much to say about him, but let's go back and look at his stats. And I don't know why they ranked him above Jeezy. I'm starting to feel like people like Gucci more than Jeezy. I don't know why. I like Jeezy more, but Gucci's an incredible rapper too. Amazing artist. 36 Hot 100 Billboard hits, including one that went number one. 29 projects on Billboard 200 charts, including 7 top 10 albums. Lemonade, Swing My Dough, First Day Out. He got way more than that. He got way more important songs than that. We'll be here all day naming them. All right, Gucci had an unprecedented run, man. Gucci, T.I. Now let's get in the Future. Y'all know who the number one guy is. And I'm not a huge fan of this guy. Future is a prolific commercial and creative powerhouse. All right. 200 songs on Billboard Hot 100 chart, including 15 top 10s, 3 number ones, has had 7 straight number one albums. The first artist to ever have 2 different albums go number one in back-to-back weeks. All right. Crazy. That's insane. That's insane, man. He should probably be number one, in my opinion. He should probably be number one. Now, y'all all know who number one is. Again, not a huge fan of this dude. The amount of music is just not there for me. He's never released a solo album. I don't know how he's number one on this list. I think his mystique and his prestige makes him number one. I listen to T.I., Gucci, and Future way more than I listen to Andre 3000. Now, I do listen to Outkast as a group a lot, but the commercial success and his mystique is why he's number one. And I get it, but y'all, this, and I'm not gonna say he's overrated, but I feel like Atlanta kind of has to let this go, man. We put him. This is what I'm trying to say. He's an incredible artist. I listen to Outkast a lot, but let's be real, y'all. Wayne cooked him on Hollywood Divorce. A lot of people won't admit that. Wayne cooked him on Hollywood Divorce. Jeezy and Drake both cooked him on I Do. If we want to be honest, if we just want to have an honest moment. Drake verse was better on I Do. Jeezy's verse was better on I Do. Lil Wayne's verse was better on Hollywood Divorce. Lil Wayne absolutely cooked him on Hollywood Divorce. So acting like he's just this God MC, I feel like for him to now at one time he was. At one time he absolutely was, but to still hold him to hold him on a pedestal like we do, even with guys like Killer Mike and CeeLo Green, they continue to make music. He just stopped making music, and it's like it's like he's number one because of the nostalgia that his music brings. You know what I'm saying? I would put Future above him. I would put Gucci above him. I would put Jeezy above him. I would put T.I. above him. I would probably put 6 or 7 Atlanta artists above Andre 3000 just based off of the amount of material that we have from him. For me, personally, he just lacks the material. He lacks the up-to-date material. Now, for about 10 years, he was number one, of course. And it was no arguing it. But once he stopped making music, I think you kind of have to relinquish that number one title to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And this is how the people in Atlanta feel. I mean, I don't know who wrote this article for Complex. I don't know if it's somebody from Atlanta or not, but people in Atlanta feel the same way, man. Yeah. So, but I mean, let's look at his, we already looked at his important songs, but look, B.O.B., the artist storytelling, international players anthem. On his 49th birthday, they talk about him playing the flute. There's nothing. Look at the dates: 1994 to 2000. Outkast released a new album every 2 years, each effort building on the world that came before it. 1994 to 2000. That was 30 years ago. That was 30 years ago. So if his best work was 30 years ago, I don't see how he's the number one rapper of all time. Again, I wouldn't take him out the top 7. You know what I'm saying? Or even the top 5, 7 to 5. It is, I think, where he belongs. But number one, I don't think he's above Future. I don't think he's above T.I. I don't think he's above Jeezy or Gucci. That's just my opinion. Besides those guys, Future, T.I., Gucci, Jeezy. I damn near say Thug too. I put Thug, Jeezy, Gucci, T.I., and Future above him at this point. Now, Thug is argued. You can argue that. That would be a personal preference. But T.I., Jeezy, Gucci, and Future are definitely above Andre 3000 in my book, man. Now, salute to everybody watching. White Boy Edit, salute to you, man. And I'm gonna unblock you, man, because you a little kid. You just can't be you can't be spamming the chat like that, man. If you see that I'm doing the show, bro, you gotta let me rock. You gotta let me do the show. I'm focused on the show. You just wanted me to say your name. I'm not gonna stop the show to say your name, bro. You a YouTuber, so you understand, man. But I'm gonna try to see if I can unblock you. If I can, I will. I just can't have you spamming up my chat during the show, bro. Nothing personal, dog. But salute to everybody else watching. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for watching, man. Get in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. ATL Complex list, 50 best Atlanta rappers of all time, man. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.